This is Milford Sound, known in Te Reo Māori as Pio Piotahi, and it's one of the most iconic landscapes in New Zealand. In today's episode, I'm sharing our adventure exploring this breathtaking part of Fiordland National Park, including some incredible stops along the way. Milford Sound sits in the southwest corner of the South Island, deep within the Fiordland National Park. This region receives some of the highest rainfall in New Zealand, which explains the dramatic cliffs and hundreds of waterfalls that appear after heavy rain. We booked with Luxe Tours, and despite a slightly chaotic start where we accidentally were loaded onto the wrong bus, we ended up with a really friendly and knowledgeable guide in a small group of around 12 people. We based ourselves in Te Anau for this trip, which makes the journey a couple of hours shorter than travelling from Queenstown. And honestly, that made a big difference on a long day like this. One of the big benefits of choosing a smaller tour was being able to stop at multiple viewpoints along the way, including Te Anau Downs, Lake Gunn, Mirror Lakes, and even the start of the Lake Marion track. When you arrive at the terminal, Milford Sound is definitely busy. It's one of the most visited natural attractions in the country. Booking with Luxe also meant a smaller cruise boat, reserved seating, and a much more relaxed experience compared to the larger coaches. The full day, including the ferry with Luxe Tours, cost us around 280 Great British pounds for both of us. We were picked up at 8:30 in the morning and we returned to our hotel for 5:30 in the afternoon. It's one of those places that's almost impossible to capture properly on camera. The scale of it feels so much bigger in person. Really surprised me was just how high I'd set my expectations. So many people had told me that Milford Sound was the standout moment of their entire New Zealand trip. And while Milford Sound is undeniably beautiful, there are just so many wow moments all across the South Island that I can't say that Milford Sound stood out as my number one moment. Was it worth visiting? Absolutely. But I do sometimes think Doubtful Sound may have been a little bit more suited to my travel style. In comparison to Milford Sound, 1 million visitors per year, Doubtful Sound only gets around 70,000 visitors. It's a lot more isolated, it's harder to get to, and it's meant to be 10 times bigger than Milford Sound, so you'd feel a lot more isolated and at one with the wilderness. Te Anau Town was one of the biggest surprises of the entire trip, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It has lots of different places to eat, and if you do decide to stay there, you have to visit the Redcliff Restaurant. We had one of the most amazing evening meals of the entire trip, so definitely check it out if you are staying in Te Anau. There are also loads of really cute cafes, places to grab a coffee, and of course, there's a couple of really good pie stops as well. We found some lovely walks by the lake, and there was also another recreational area where there was a lake called Lake Henry. We stayed at Fiordland, Lakeview, Motel and Apartments, which once again provided us with everything we needed after a busy day exploring. It was a really good size, had a comfy bed, a kitchen, and an absolutely fantastic view over the lake from our lounge. If you're visiting Milford Sound, definitely allow time for some stops along the way. The Lake Marion track is one that definitely stood out as one of my favourites. And if you have visited Milford Sound as well as Doubtful Sound, I would genuinely love to know how they compared for you. In the next episode, we'll be heading down to Queenstown, New Zealand's adventure capital, where we will be spending 3 amazing nights checking out everything the town has to offer. If you haven't already, make sure you catch up on the first part of this series, from arriving in Christchurch before starting our road trip, taking the inland route down to Dunedin before heading over to Stewart Island in search of kiwis. I'll pop the playlist up here, so make sure you catch up on that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.